Hi everyone, I'm Mark Moho, and welcome to The Upbeat, a podcast about perseverance and hope from Kelly's Angels. We have a big day upcoming here at Kelly's Angels. It's our annual fundraiser called the Mother-Lovin 5K. It's held in the Saratoga Spa State Park in Saratoga Springs on Mother's Day, May 14th. We encourage people to come on out and walk or run or just hang out and be there. It's a celebration of life. It's a celebration of people who have persevered. And it's often a poignant day for many who take part. They like to run or walk in honor or in memory of perhaps someone who is battling or someone who has been lost. And we're joined on the Upbeat podcast today by someone who is running in honor of people. In fact, that's what he does. He is running in honor of some people who were near and dear to him. We're joined by Mike Newhouse. Mike, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, how you doing, Mark? First of all, thanks for having me. It's an honor to come and be a part of this and to be even a little bit part of the run. And to me is just, my name is Mike Newhouse. I'm 53 years old and I'm a runner. I run for an organization, actually it's a group of runners across the country. We're called Flags for Fallen. And what I do and what we all do is we run for someone who has passed. We run for people that have passed away in tragic form or just however they died. It doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter if they were in the military or not. The flag that I carry for them is our flag, and the flag brings unity. So, we believe that a complete stranger reaching out to another complete stranger and showing that they care is probably the coolest thing that you could do.
Powerful.
It's very powerful. What I do is I run the race with the flag, and at the end of the race, I fold it military style and present it to the family members for that person. It's not a sad day. Whenever I do them, it's a celebration of their life. It's a total celebration. It's a day to remember them. Their friends are welcome to come. It's not an extension of a service. That's really what I don't want. And it never has been. One of the moms that I've run for her daughter, she was 24, told me that was the first event that she's ever been to for her daughter that was not sad.
Yeah.
And that is probably the best thing you could hear. So that's what I do. I've done over 30 crossings so far, 30 flags. I do firemen, police, whoever asks, I'll do it.
And on Sunday, May 14th, in the Saratoga Spa State Park in Saratoga Springs, the Kelly's Angels Mother-Lovin 5K, this one's personal to you.
It is. My Aunt Mary, she's a cousin on my mom's side, okay? And she's just a wonderful human being. Wonderful. Her daughter, Tricia, her son, Matt, and her son, Mike, all passed away. Wow. She had to bury 3 children. So Matt died of cancer just a few months ago. He had head and neck cancer. He passed. He was only 47 years old, I believe. And Tricia, the daughter, she also had cancer. Tricia was 51 when she passed in 2015. And Michael was Tricia's twin. He passed away just a few weeks back at 57.
All 3 cancer?
2 cancer and 1 had a stroke.
Boy.
So I had originally planned on running for Matthew and Tricia because they both had cancer. So I was going to run just the 2. And then Michael suddenly had a stroke and passed away. So I added Michael and told my aunt, I'm going to add Michael Harrison also, obviously, so the 3 siblings could all be together. And I also threw in my uncle Mike, who I'm named after. He was a former battalion chief in Troy Fire Department. He had passed a few years ago. He also had cancer, but he didn't die of it, but he had survived cancer. So I'm going to run 4 flags. I have 3 other people running with me. I asked my cousin Tommy Miter to run my uncle Mike's flag because he just retired as a battalion chief in Troy himself. So he will be carrying the Red Line fireman flag for my uncle Mike. And I have 2 representatives from, they run races for military with an American flag for a run every year they call Running for the Fallen, which is something that they run hundreds of miles for. They're going to assist me in this. So we have 4 flags running. My goal is to have, I want to make it a group run.
Yeah.
I want 2 lines behind me, and it's going to be slow for anyone who wants to join us. It's a very powerful thing. I encourage people to sign up. Come and celebrate your loved one while doing this. I will guarantee you, if you join me, it will be the most memorable run you've ever done.
Uplifting.
Guaranteed. I did this type of a run at the Stockade-a-thon this year for Herb Brooks, the Miracle on Ice coach.
Yeah.
I did it for his family and his wife. And we all wore hockey uniforms and everything. And it was amazing. It was amazing because you're in a team, you're in a group, and you're doing something for somebody else.
Yeah,
and
that's the power of empathy, right?
It really is. It really is. That's what gets me every time. So I always want people to join me because I want them to feel what I feel. There's nothing like carrying a flag for somebody else.
Yeah.
And especially during a race, because, the people on the side, and I wear their pictures on my back too, so people know what I'm doing.
That's terrific. And we have, at the run on Mother's Day in Saratoga Springs, we provide bibs for those who'd like to wear them, and they say, "Today I honor."
Perfect.
So you can put the name on their bib. And you are encouraging others to join you through social media, right? And
I'm trying, yes. I just elected, I have people that help me behind the scenes with what I do because it's gotten where, I have one girl, her name's Katie. She actually does a lot of this stuff for me with the emails and stuff.
Sure, promoting it.
Yeah, because a lot of times I talk to families and stuff, and I talk to them as much as I can, but it gets kind of overwhelming sometimes when I have a lot of different people going. So I have people that help me, but I'm reaching out to anyone at all, especially right now is a good time. You know what? Message me on Facebook, hook me up, and I will personally even help you get ready for this race if that's something you want to do.
And your Facebook, you can be found on Facebook as Mike Newhouse.
And send me a friend request. I run in the Saratoga Park all the time. I can meet you. I could help you, direct you, send people to help, whatever it takes. It's a 5K, you can do it.
And we often tell people that they don't have to run. Being there.
Exactly.
Just being there. And we make it a fun event, as you know. You've done it for years.
It's great.
We have a DJ, and we have some giveaways like chocolate milk from King Dairy, which is a well-known dairy here in upstate New York. We have Saratoga Gelato. We have cider donuts, fresh made. It's a fun event. So if you're not a serious runner, you don't have to take part. So you said you'll be wearing their pictures too. You'll be wearing Matt and Tricia and Michael's.
I'll have Tricia's on my back, and then Andy and Tommy, and we'll all have each one of them. I haven't decided who's wearing whose, but we'll all have the 4. So we'll be up front, and then their pictures will be on our backs with the 4 flags. So we'll be going ahead, and then everybody will be behind us in 2 rows.
At the end is when you present the flag, right at the end?
Yep. Okay. At the end, what we do is after the finish. What I do is I have someone assist me in folding it. So we fold it, like the military does, and then I present it to them. Each flag also has their name on it. My mom puts all the names on my flags that I do, so that person's name is on it, and then they keep it forever. At
the end of the race, at the end of the run, we call it, I hesitate to call it a race because it's not for competitive runners.
Right.
Typically, competitive runners are welcome, certainly, but most of the people who take part are not competitive runners. At the end, and you present this flag, what do you hope that family feels?
They always hold it to their heart, and they always feel like, it's hard to explain because I've never had it done to me, but I give that to them. And if I get a medal in any of the races, I always give my medal to the person too. Yeah. The moms really appreciate that. And they keep the flag and cherish it forever, and I tell them, you can fly it, whatever, maybe it's their birthday or something, you want to fly it, they can fly it. But the flag really represents unity, and that's really what it's about. We also our motto at Flags for Fallen, and I tell everybody this is, anything worth doing should be done with excellence. And I really believe that. I don't run for myself anymore. Once I started doing this a couple of years ago, I never ran for myself again. I run for somebody every time, even in my training runs, and I dedicate my miles to that person, maybe someone that I have already run for, somebody else. There's always a need for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more fulfilling to me.
Sure.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. I always encourage people to join me. It's like, I guarantee you'll love it. Once you do it, you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is incredible. I did all the, as a runner, you go through the different stages of, your distances. I've done all of them. I've done 4 full marathons, and I've done all of the halves. I've done all that stuff, and then you go, how fast can I do them? That's the next thing, how fast? Well, I'm 53 now. I'm not getting much faster. Actually, you start going downhill. But this doesn't matter. Your speed doesn't matter. And, I got people that come now, they tell me, where are you going to be? Where's the race? And they come and they cheer me on because they really love this.
Isn't that terrific?
And it's wonderful. They come and they cheer and they take pictures. I have people that take pictures. That's all they do is to go and they take pictures so I can give them to the families because they want to help.
Support for Kelly's Angels comes from the students and faculty at South Glens Falls High School in upstate New York who hold a 24-hour marathon dance each year to benefit local charities. Kelly's Angels is proud to be among the beneficiaries of the 2022 South High Marathon Dance. We are grateful for their generosity and kindness. Support also comes from Stewart's Shops, an employee and family-owned convenience store chain serving eastern upstate New York and southwestern Vermont. And from Noble Ace Hardware in South Glens Falls, New York, which offers competitive pricing and high-quality products for just about anything you need. For more than 30 years, the team at Noble Ace has delivered on its promise to be the most helpful hardware store in town by providing excellent customer service that exceeds expectations and reflects family values during each and every visit.
There are dozens of runs, maybe hundreds of runs in upstate New York where we're located. You choose to participate in the Kelly's Angels Mother-Lovin 5K. Why?
I really have a special place in my heart for this race because of my wife. My wife in 2009 was diagnosed with Burkitt's lymphoma, which is a rare lymphoma. It's a very aggressive cancer. In the heartbeat, we had to immediately start chemotherapy treatments, which meant she had to be admitted in Albany Med, and they started immediately with chemotherapy. Her whole body was lit up like crazy. And so she would go and she would stay there for like 4 days getting chemotherapy, and I'd bring her home. She was sick as a dog, and going through all that. And then, back then you'd have to bring them back. I think it was like a day later for a Neulasta shot, which
sure,
they call it.
Yeah.
And then she would go back for another treatment in a couple weeks or whatever it was. And she would, each time she went, she got sicker and sicker. Yeah. She got thinner and thinner and lost all, she'd lose her hair. She lost her hair. She did this, and so I got to watch this firsthand, somebody who was vibrant, and somebody who was athletic and full of life just get beat down to nothing, So, people don't realize it until you're in this. And I used to explain it to other people. It's like you're underground and there's a glass ceiling, okay? And when you're going through this and watching somebody else, you're down below the ground and everyone else up there is living their life. Yeah. The rest of the world is going, in other words. Yeah. And you're down there in this, and I call it the bowels of hell. Yeah. Really, you are.
Sure.
And, people are there, but they're not. I mean, they have their own lives. So, you're kind of like on your own in a way. Yeah. And I still had to work full time.
Sure.
And I had dogs at home.
And care for her. And
care for her.
Yeah.
And I would go to work in the morning, and I remember when she was really sick, I would go to work and I'd say, I love you. I'm going now. And I would drive to work and be like, I don't know if she's going to be alive when I get home.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about that because, and people would check on her and stuff. But, And sure as hell, she ended up getting, 104 temperature and ended up in the ICU.
Yeah.
After 4 treatments.
You almost lost her.
And yep, she, all her organs were shut down. They kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I'd go in and I just, just lost it, because at that point I had nothing left to fight. She looked terrible. The doctor shrugged his shoulders to me and said, what do we do now? And he says, you might as well make arrangements. He told me that. He said, you might as well start making arrangements. And I said, are you kidding me? And another doctor on the team came up to me. He was an older guy who wanted to retire. And I'll never forget this guy. He said, Mike, come here. And he said, look, nobody here is for this, but I think it may work. I said, what? He said, I want to do a white blood cell transfusion. He said, it's either going to kill her immediately or she's going to respond to it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
What did I got to lose? So we did it. The next day, her eyes opened up. Oh, and that's the truth. And I swear to God, this guy, he was the only one who wanted to do this. And so I know what it's like to really have someone die and come back to life, because that's really what happened to me. So I think all of that stuff in life's events, led me to where I am today with this.
And one of the things you described was how difficult it was. You had to maintain a full-time job while being a full-time caretaker. And one of the things that Kelly's Angels does is provide what we call angel aid. We help families who are having trouble making ends meet, or perhaps want to have some additional resources to make memories while they still can. So that's one of the things that this organization does. Mike, is there anything else that you want people to know about what it is you do and what it is you will be doing on Sunday, May 14th, Mother's Day, in the Saratoga Spa State Park?
I really encourage people to come. Like you said, even if you don't run, come, enjoy the day, walk if you want, join me if you want to run the race in a slow, nice pace. I am going to have a group behind me. It's going to be motivating, uplifting, the best run you've ever done. I promise. I'll keep you entertained the whole time I'm there too. That's another thing I like to do. So please come. The Harrison family would appreciate it. My Aunt Mary, God bless her. I mean, to bury two of your two sons within months of one another, and here she was. She's a very faithful person. She's consoling others, and I'm like, I didn't even know what to say to her. It's like a mother burying her children is the worst thing. I've run for a lot of moms who've lost their children, and I'm not a counselor. I'm not any of those things, but for some reason they feel comfortable talking to me. So I've talked to them about a lot of things. And it's the hardest thing for a child to lose a child. Yeah,
we're not programmed to bury our own children. No.
And I think there's different phases of that. So one of the things that I've been doing is connecting the moms. I've connected past tribute.
There's strength in community, isn't there?
There is, and it works. I deploy them to someone that's coming in the group that I'm running for. And I'm like, I don't know, this is either going to work or it's going to blow up in my face. I don't know. It's worked out incredible, because I really don't think, if you lost your son, say, and somebody contacted you that just lost his son, I think you guys would have a real good bond.
Yeah, I think
and
so
it
too.
Works.
Yeah.
It really does.
It does. It's not a fraternity you want to be a part of, but
right.
Knowing that someone else has gone through similar. Mike Newhouse, thanks for all you do. Thanks for Flags for Fallen. Thanks for participating and inviting people to participate in the Mother-Lovin 5K.
Anything I can do to help, just let me know. I will do anything I can. And also, I'd like to add that I appreciate everything you do. I'd like to honor you with a run for your wife.
That's very nice.
It'll be in the fall. and it will be in her honor.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very nice of you, and thanks for taking time for
You
us.
got it.
And thanks to all of you for listening, and I invite you to subscribe to the Upbeat podcast and listen to future episodes wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Mark Mulholland. Until next time, stay on the Upbeat.
If you enjoy The Upbeat, please subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. If you have topics you'd like us to cover on The Upbeat, please send your ideas to theupbeatpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. On behalf of the volunteer board of Kelly's Angels and the families we help who are facing life-threatening conditions, thank you for listening to The Upbeat.
Nice job, McKenna Rose.
Thanks, Dad. You too.